Welcome back to my AKUMU Difficulty walkthrough for The Evil Within, my friends. This is chapter number 14 and it's called Ulterior Motives. And in this chapter there are 8 collectibles for us to obtain as well as 5 keys.
You've got to be alive.
So 13 collectibles total. And in this chapter we do have a boss fight and there are some tricky sections, but for the most part it's not too bad. I really think the hardest part of the game is done by this point. But there are a few time bombs in this level that can be a little bit troublesome to disarm, as always. So don't take a risk unless you really feel like it. Here is the first key of this chapter, make sure you pick that one up. And there's a time bomb here, I'm going to try and disarm it. Usually I don't mind attempting to disarm a time bomb when I'm at the start of a chapter or if I save the game, but if I was close to the end of the chapter and there was a time bomb, I probably would leave it alone just to be on the safe side, because sometimes mistakes do happen. Don't forget to pick up that map fragment, and now we're going to move on to the next area. Pick up this bottle and we're going to try and lure the haunted that's inside this room. Once you break that bottle, he will come and investigate, and then you can just shoot one of those bombs like I did here. And as you can see, he was literally reduced to pieces. And we can disarm that one. These explosives will detonate if you take too long to disarm them, so do be careful. The Chimera came to investigate and I shot it, and I'm sorry I shot it in an area that's probably very painful to get shot in, but sorry about that, I had no choice. And here is the next collectible, another... Actually that's a letter left by Mira to Sebastian. They still really have to explain that in a future game, I hope.
Don't you think you should use your green gel?
And now we're going to pick up a missing person poster as well as a newspaper article, but before we do that, I'm going to grab a few sniper rifle bullets. I have 3 lockers with sniper rifle bullets opened, so might as well collect them now. I have plenty of keys as you can see, but I'm not going to worry about opening any lockers right now because I have enough green gel for the upgrades that I'm going to be doing later on, so I won't worry about it for now. And here's the newspaper article, make sure you get that one. Okay, so we're going to move on to the next area now, rather pretty subway, but we're going to head down, and do be careful here, make sure you take these steps and not the other 2, because there's bombs over there and there's an invisible enemy here, but if you approach him slowly, he won't get up and you'll be able to burn him with a match. Okay, what's going on here? Come on. There we go. So yeah, that's why you can't take these 2 sets of steps, because if you do, you'll be happily running down and then before you know it, explosion time and you die. Pick up this green gel and there's an enemy there. He manages to break free, but we'll just shoot him once and then burn him with a match. Come on. Do be careful though, because there's a time bomb in the corner there. And I'm not going to mess around with this time bomb. It's set up sideways. For some reason that confuses me a lot. And I'm more likely to miss the blue mark when the bombs are sideways for some reason. Now this next section, a little bit troublesome, but as long as you have a few sniper rifle bullets, you'll be good. There's a doppelganger there. Wait for him to move a little bit closer and let's shoot him. My sniper rifle has a damage multiplier that's at level 3, if memory serves me right, so I'm able to kill all of them with a single shot. That takes care of all 3 of them, and we can pick up 3 spare sniper rifle bullets here, so we end up not wasting anything. So yeah, even if you don't have any sniper rifle bullets, you have those 3 bullets there, so you can pick those bullets up and then shoot the 3 enemies, and that will make your life easier. Again, there are invisible enemies here, so you make sure you burn them all. And don't approach them while running. You have to be in the crouch position to approach them, otherwise they will get up and attack Sebastian. That's why it's important to sneak here. Now let's burn this guy as well. Oh, he's getting up. Don't you grab me. Get away from me. That's one moment in the game where I'm always a little bit worried, is when you burn an enemy with a match and yet they still run after you, and sometimes they can still grab you, and if they do that, then in AKUMU difficulty obviously you're going to die. And what? Why did that match miss? Okay, now I burned the other guy. That wasn't supposed to happen, but you have to improvise sometimes. It's important for you to disarm these traps, because if the alarm goes off, you'll have to face more haunted in the subway area, or in the next subway. So make sure you disarm those 2 cables, and that way you really won't have anything to worry about. And now let's keep going. See, if the alarm had went off, there would be a haunted with a sniper rifle in the next train car, and there would also be a big haunted who comes running at you with a knife. So do be careful and make sure you don't trigger the alarm, and that way you won't have to deal with them. And when you jump into this area, move very slowly, because if you run in this area, the haunted that you can see there inside the train, he will be able to spot you and he will come running out at you, and he has explosive bolts. But you can use the bolts that are inside to destroy him. And now let's disarm this explosive bolt, and we can keep going now, and we'll get the second key in this chapter in just a moment. I just have my shotgun ready here, and now we just have to go to the end of the train car.
Gotta be a way to get up there somehow.
We're about to have some company. Here he comes. There we go. Make sure you shoot him, and I didn't need to burn him, he was already dead, but oh well. Let's get the next key here. So this would be the second key in this chapter. And in this next area we're going to have to deal with a bunch of alter egos, but we're actually going to speed run through this part. There's no point in killing the alter egos here, because you can just dodge them. So if you want to spare some ammunition, then ignore the alter egos, just dodge to the side and you'll be able to run past them, and that way you avoid wasting ammunition. There's this one who gets up as you pass, but not need to worry, and this one will set himself loose as well. And now we need to dodge here to the side. We have enough space to do this. So, and we did release that larvae thing that they like to use sometimes. Burn this one because he gets up. Oh my, did you see that? It's like he did a somersault and then landed back on the floor. If there is one thing I'll say about the Haunted, they die in very silly ways when you shoot them and burn them. It's like their bodies sometimes get all bent out of shape. It's really weird. Funny nonetheless, but they die in some peculiar positions, that's for sure. And let's grab a little bit more green gel in here. And that poor mouse, I think he died. He got smashed inside that ventilation shaft. And there's a journal here for us to pick up. And now we're going to get 2 more collectibles in the safe room. And I'm also going to be upgrading my Magnum before I keep on going. I can't stress enough, guys, for the next boss fight, upgrading your Magnum really comes in handy.
Have you forgotten something?
And here it is, Tatiana's missing person poster, and just like that she disappears. And you know, I wish this would be something that they explained, I really do. Tatiana disappears here and she doesn't appear again in the game. Is she dead? Is she alive? I wish they explained it. Because she doesn't appear in the other DLC episodes, but it's kind of awkward how a character who's been with us since the start of the game all of a sudden just disappears without any explanation. I would think that she deserved a better fate, since she's a fairly important character in terms of support. I mean, I think she's as relevant as Joseph or Kidman in my opinion, or Jimenez or whoever else, but she just disappears like that and she doesn't appear again. And Sebastian really doesn't get troubled by it either. He's like, okay, well, she's gone, well, that's fine, I guess. I mean, I understand that after all this guy's seen so far, he's really not going to be impressed by anything, but nonetheless, you'd think that he would be more worried about Tatiana's fate. As we step into this area, be ready. This next area to me, I don't know if you guys have ever watched the Alien movies, but in the second Aliens movie, when they go into the hive, this area reminds me of that scene in the movie quite a lot. It reminds me of the Aliens hive. If you haven't watched that movie, you should watch it. It's a pretty fun movie. And I think that's where they got their inspiration for this. And Sebastian's getting peed on, which isn't very nice. Burn this alter ego here. If you run towards him, he will be able to break himself free and he will attack you. But if you sneak towards him, then he won't be able to spot you. And I am going to try and disarm this trap. There we go. A few more parts. And pick up the key. And now I'm going to grab a freeze bolt. Sebastian keeps getting peed on by that green pee that's falling from the ceiling. He doesn't seem to mind though. Sneak past that guy as well, otherwise I do think that guy will wake up and come after you. And I didn't disarm that time bomb back there because honestly I had a bad feeling. I really did, guys. You know how sometimes when you're playing a game you're like, I think that I'm going to mess up, and I felt that if I tried to disarm that time bomb when I'm getting so close to the end of the game that I would mess up. So I guess I chose not to do it. Make sure you shoot that alter ego. I don't know if that guy appears on the easier difficulties, but I don't remember. But make sure you disarm this bear trap. They placed it in the worst place possible, and you have to be very careful here, because as you know, if Sebastian gets caught in AKUMU difficulty, you're done for. This game can be punishing like that, where even when you think you're safe and you're in the clear, they put a bear trap or something that wasn't there before in the easier difficulties, just to make your life more complicated and to make you rage because you got killed by a silly bear trap. Now this to me is the hardest part of this chapter. We're going to make a lot of shock bolts here. And this strategy, not going to lie guys, it might take you a few turns to get this one down, but hopefully it will work. There's two traumas here, and we're going to ignore them for now. Just going to run towards the end of the room, and why? I don't know what happened with the camera there. I wanted to fire a shock bolt to stun the traumas, but for some reason I couldn't. I don't know what happened with the camera there. And that guy is right on top of me, oh goodness. Okay, that was very lucky on my part. If he had swinged his arm and hit me, I would have been dead by now. Use two shock bolts, and I don't think the traumas follow you after you shock them into this area, but the alter egos will. And there's one right behind me, isn't there? Yes. Goodness, this is the second time I kill an enemy by shooting them in their penis. That's not very kind of Sebastian, I guess. As we turn this valve, I could use a shock bolt, but you know what? I'm gonna use my sniper rifle. I got plenty of ammunition. But if you don't have enough ammunition here, use a shock bolt to stun them, and then just make your way towards the exit. And as you can see, the traumas didn't follow me. And as we step into this area, dodge this alter ego, and we're in the clear. We're in the clear here for now. As soon as you see the checkpoint appear, you're good. But like I said guys, do be careful, there's an alien there. You can't tell me they didn't get their inspiration for this level in the Alien movie. I mean, even the boss kind of resembles like a squid type of alien. But like I said, with those two traumas, they're not there in the easier difficulties, and it can become hard. But if you use a shock bolt and you make a run for it, you should be just fine. You might have to try a couple of times, but even though we wasted a couple of shock bolts and a little bit of sniper rifle ammunition, it's better than to try and fight those two traumas head on, because you'll have to waste a lot more ammunition to kill them. Very important here, make sure you have a shock bolt left. You'll need it for the next boss fight. Or actually, either a shock bolt or a freeze bolt work, but I prefer the shock bolts.
This is dead.
And now we need to insert all parts here in order to get the engine running. Or actually that stops the engine, so we have to go and turn the wheel now. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but the handgun that Sebastian is using, it doesn't look like the pistol that he uses. So I guess he used a different gun there for just that cutscene there. Use a shock bolt quickly and I'll just shoot this guy. 5 magnum bullets to do him in. He's not quite dead yet, but I'm not going to waste more magnum bullets. Let's use the shotgun here, and now he's dead. So yeah, strategy for this boss, it works on any difficulty. Use a shock bolt, charge the shock bolt up before the boss starts moving towards you, and then shoot him 5 times with the magnum. That should be enough to stun him, and then if he's still alive after that, then pick up your shotgun and open fire, and he won't be able to dodge. If that guy manages to escape and disappear, then your life will become a lot harder. But if you use this strategy, then you won't have the opportunity to disappear and run away, and you can get rid of him very, very quickly. Remember, however, that my Magnum had a damage multiplier that was at level 4, so it's almost maxed out. If you have a Magnum that doesn't have as high of a damage multiplier, it might take, instead of 5 shots to stun him, it might take like 7 to 8 shots. I think you should count with that. But that's why I told you earlier that it's very important to upgrade your shotgun, your Magnum for this fight. It just makes your life a lot easier. And really, the chapter is pretty much concluded. But I'm just going to grab a few more shotgun shells since I did use a few of those. And there we go. And now we can move on. And there is one more key for us to obtain. And it's the last key of the game. After we get this last key, there are no more keys for us to worry about. And if you followed my walkthrough and you obtained all the keys, then you'll find that you actually have spare keys, because there's more keys in the game. Because there's more keys in the game than there are lockers. So you have plenty of keys to open all the lockers now. As you can see, I have 14 keys right now, so I haven't even bothered opening up all the lockers. And the last statue with the key is here. Oh, actually I have 16 keys. I have quite a few lockers left to open. But I bet they all have syringes, with my luck. I don't think you can get impaled by these blocks that crash through the train. Nonetheless, to be careful when you walk through. Something tells me that the last message won't be "you'll be happy." It will be something creepy. Yeah, you will suffer. Like Sebastian hasn't suffered enough up until this point in the game. To be fair, he already suffered a lot even before the game started, because his wife disappeared, his daughter died. Ruvik really is sadistic, because when you think about it, Sebastian is just a victim in all of this. Yet Ruvik doesn't care. He's going to make Sebastian suffer for no good reason. But oh well.
You published my research in your name again. Did you think I wouldn't find out?
And I have done you a favor. You have no credentials. You'd never appear in a reputable journal otherwise. Nobody in the world knows you even exist.
Oh, but they will know. I have surpassed you in every way you can imagine. No matter. I have what I need. All that's left is the procedure.
Indeed. That is why we are here.
We? You wouldn't dare. You couldn't complete it without me.
Precisely.
Trying to make me feel sorry for you?
Well, Ruvik just got screwed over, but you really can't feel bad for the guy. I mean, he's no Peach, that's for sure. But we're going to use a shock bolt here, charge it up, and we should have more than enough time to remove all of the cables connecting these three guys. We're getting very close to the end of the game, so that's going to be exciting. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Take care, my friends.